Welcome to the NNBN podcast, talking with businesses, charities and organisations across Northamptonshire.
Sponsored by Poppy Design Studio. Find us at poppydesignstudio.com.
So my guest today is a man that's pretty well known around the Northamptonshire business circuit and an award-winning business coach. He's an inspiration. He's an entrepreneur. He's, Parm, let's let you do the intro. It's Parm Bhangal who's joined me today. So welcome today. And let's hear all about you.
Thank you, Simon. And thanks for having me on. Parm Bhangal. My background is construction. I graduated from an apprenticeship in quantity surveying, what seems like a very, very long time ago. I've been a decade and a half in construction, set up my first business, which was Bhangals Construction Consultants in 2010. So it's been 14 years this year. Since then, I've amalgamated a few different businesses, 7 different businesses, majority of them in construction consultancy, but I've actually delved out of construction in the last few years as well. You know, across our multi-million pound turnover array of businesses, we employ around 100 staff. We were just always driving for more and driving to be better, really, always looking to get better and push the businesses forward and make more efficiencies, recruit more people and keep everyone happy, which isn't always possible, but we do our best.
And now you know why I mentioned the word entrepreneur, as well as, kind of what you do in the intro, because at the end of the day, there's a lot going on. And I think it's fantastic what you're doing. I think it's absolutely brilliant for yourselves, for the people that you employ, but also, having someone like yourself in the county is absolutely amazing. So, well done on what you've achieved so far. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come in the future as well, as we all follow the journey of what you're on as well. But let's talk about the construction business first of all. You started out, was it 14 years ago, you say?
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah, what was it like when you first set up? How did you find it when you first took that step into launching the business?
So it was a hard time because construction was actually still just coming out of that previous 2008 recession. So it was kind of just repairing itself. And I left a quantity surveying job at the point because I was very unhappy with the role. I was very unhappy with how people within the workforce were treated. And I felt as if there was something missing in the construction industry. I felt as if we could offer something which was slightly different to what everyone else was offering, especially with the expertise I'd built up over my 5 or 6 years in the industry previous to that. So it was a tough start. It was a really tough start because it was a cold start. It was a cold start from nothing. When I started my business, we had no clients. I had no marketing. I had no website. It was just me and my telephone, and let's see what we do with this so-called business. And when I look back at calling it a business in 2010, it wasn't really a business. It was me and my mobile phone, just doing my best to wing it and see how we were going to get on. And here we are, 14 years on, entirely different business now. We can actually call it a business.
Well, it's certainly been a journey that you've been on, and to go from a mobile phone to where you are today, you've got to take a lot of praise and a lot of credit for that, because wow, what a journey. And I've seen bits that you've pushed out on your social media. I've been following the progress of where you've been through the awards and everything that you've been to as well, because I think you were around the SME Business Awards a couple of years ago, and I think you've won a few awards with what you've done as well. So well done. I think it's great to actually have this time with you to actually talk through this. And the awards, let's touch on that briefly. I mean, obviously some people don't like talking about their own success, but I'm going to ask you straight away, what was it like when you picked up those awards on your journey?
Awards is an interesting one. I remember my first awards that I went to, which was Young Business Person of the Year 2017. And it was my PR company that were like, you've got an amazing business here. You've had amazing success for your age. We really think you should go for this. And I was a bit like, and it's a bit like what I still am today. I don't really look at my success. I'm always looking forward, like what's next. And then I was like, right, okay, let's just do it. Let's see what happens. And I went to the award ceremony with I was like, look, we're here. We're going to have fun. We have some food and some drinks, and had my whole team there, had my parents there, my wife there. And I was like, look, whatever happens, we're just going to have a fun evening. And when my name got called out, I was like, what? I was actually confused. And that was the first awards that I'd ever been to. And off the back of that, I think we had recorded it and we got a snippet of when my name got called out, and we packaged it up and we put it out on LinkedIn. And that video got 25,000 plus views. And I was like, okay, maybe we need to do this a little bit more often. So I think awards is one of them things, you know, we come back from any awards. We won 13 awards. It's in the last few years, probably in the last 4 or 5 years, across various different categories, entrepreneurial ones, business growth ones, employer of the year. We've won a lot of awards. And I think for me, the awards are never about me personally. I try not to ever make them about me personally. You know, I've got an amazing team, and I'm surrounded by a lot of very intelligent, highly motivated, very driven individuals that work alongside me to make what we have today, which is an array of very successful businesses. So our awards, although my name might be on some of them, are about the team and the collective hard work that we do together. And, you know, it's a nice accolade to have, but we always come back from an award ceremony and we always have a debrief in the morning. It's like, smashed it last night, done really well. How do we get better? We have, you know, I have two meetings every week, a Monday morning with our estimating director and a Tuesday morning with our ops director. And that meeting is always about, right, what we're making better, how are we going to get better, how do we make marginal improvements? And I think that's why we're award winning. And that's why I think our clients love working with us, because we try not to go stale. You know, okay, we've probably got some of the best templates in the market when it comes to construction consultancy, but people are going to catch us. People are going to see our templates and improve theirs. So what do? Now, we just got to keep getting better. It doesn't even matter if it's a 1% marginal gain on what we had before. Let's just make it that little bit better. So I think our success in awards has been just because of the fact we're always pushing for more. We're always pushing. And I don't mean pushing for more as in revenue. Revenue's great, but we're always pushing for more, better client relationships, better product, better service lines, you know, improve the team, improve what people can do, bring them up the ranks. That's what we're always looking to do.
And that's great, because that's continual progress. It's continuing investing in the business, isn't it? Rather than, you know, financially investing that people think about. It's investing the time, the resources, the ideas, the creation. And I think you're right. You know, businesses need to evolve more. And, you know, I was at the startup show down in London recently, and I was hearing Rob Pierre talking, and he was saying very similar sort of things around. And if you're not familiar with Rob Pierre, wow, what a guy this is. You know, he grew Jellyfish from nothing. I think it was over 18 years and sold it for millions. And, you know, absolutely tremendous entrepreneur. And his message as well was around, you know, continue reinvesting in the business with ideas. And I think there's books as well around this that people have written, business books around how to make the boat go faster or row the boat harder or something. I can't remember the exact title, but to hear that you've actually continue putting that back into the business is great. And that's probably where your success is going for on that trajectory as well, isn't it? So I suppose you as an individual, what actually drives you as an individual, Parm? What would you say is your real, you know, gets up, and what drives Parm?
I think this is an interesting thing. Whenever I'm coaching or mentoring anyone, and that's not just paid coaching and mentoring, a lot of my team within our business get coached off me, get mentored off me. My big thing is always have a why. and your why can't be money. And that's my big thing. Yes, we can all talk about money and we can talk about success financially, but your why has to be more than money, because there comes a point where money won't get you out of bed. The why has to be something strong enough that when your days are really bad and when you're really struggling, you think about your why and it actually gets you out of bed. My why has changed over the years, and that's very normal. Whys do change. When I was first started my business, my why was just to have a phenomenal business that I could be proud of saying that I built. And then I got married and I had kids. And now my why is all surrounded around my children. I want my girls to look in and go, Daddy works really hard, and he's always looking to get better and he never gives up. Because it's very easy to say that. It's very, very easy to say that. But actually doing it and then being a living example of that is entirely different. And I want to be a living example of, we have bad days, get up, go again, try harder. You will lose, you will make mistakes. I make mistakes. I talk to them about my mistakes and I'll go, wasn't a good day today. We made these mistakes, but it's okay. We're going to get up and we're going to go again. So for me, my why is my children. I want to show them that, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have days where you don't feel like doing it. You're going to have failures, but you've got to get up, you've got to get better, and you've got to keep going. And so my why is really around being a great example to my kids.
Yeah, brilliant. And what a fantastic why that is. And I was talking to Millie Fife. I don't know if you're familiar with Millie at all, but she's an entrepreneur in Northamptonshire, and great having Millie involved with what we do as well. And she was saying a very similar thing about the entrepreneurial iceberg. Now, we've all seen this iceberg, haven't we, where it shows success at the top and everything that goes on underneath, and all the bits that people don't necessarily see, all the challenges, all those heartaches, all those frustrations that we've all had in what we've all done. And touching on some of those, what sort of challenges have you faced that you've sort of had to overcome, that you've actually sort of thought, wow, how am I actually going to get over this? These big challenges that you face.
There's challenges every day, but recruitment is a massive challenge. Keeping people happy is a massive challenge. Now, the one thing that I think has been really tough is that sometimes you're doing your best for people, but what you're doing is making their life hard, because you're giving them stuff that's really difficult to do. When you're giving people stuff that takes them out of their comfort zone, they don't necessarily like you. Yeah, so you don't become that likable person. But what I think you try and educate people on is that you're not necessarily going to like me for doing this, but I can promise you by the time you get out the back of this, you're going to be an entirely different person. So I'm challenging you to make you better. And not everyone understands that. And, the people that do, and the people that have been in our organizations for many, many years and who have really grasped that, know that whenever I ask them to do anything that's really tough, sink yourself into it, because when you come out the back of it, it's going to be great. And if you fail, it's fine, because I'll catch you. Now, the problem with being a business owner is that everyone always seems to think, especially newer people within an organization, if you give them stuff to do that they don't want to do, they automatically assume it's because you don't want to do it, rather than I'm trying to teach you how to do something here and give you a skill. And I always try to say to people, don't worry, if you get it wrong or you need some advice, I'm always here to catch you. And the tough bit about being a business owner and an entrepreneur is you don't have anyone there to catch you when you're making them mistakes. So I've made mistakes, and I've been taught some very valuable lessons over the last decade and a half of making them mistakes, but you can't let them mistakes define you. A lot of people let mistakes and let errors within a business define them. You can't necessarily let any mistake define you. You have to let that mistake be a pedestal to make you better. Like, how do I get better from this? So challenges within the biggest challenge, and I think I've spoken to hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs and business owners, is that challenge of people, management of people. People are inevitably the one resource you need to be able to grow any business and have any successful business, because you can't have a hugely successful people without having amazing teams and amazing people. Inevitably, people are always going to let you down. And I've been let down in the past. You know, I've had people steal data off us. I've had people steal templates off us. I've had people try and steal clients off us after leaving. You're always going to get stabbed in the back, but you can't do anything about that. You know, you meet a massive wide variety of people whilst you're in any business, and you have to learn to live with the fact that these things are going to happen. And you have to learn from them. You have to make your processes better so they don't happen in the future. And you can't let them define you. You have to grow out. You have to outgrow that position, and you have to grow through these tough times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned about the learnings, because you're right. I mean, entrepreneurship is a pass rate of 1%, I think, isn't it? You fail and you get up and learn the next day. And that's why I was really keen to speak to you, because obviously when I heard you speak in the Vulcan Works event the other week, and hearing what you were saying to those businesses that were starting out, the Vulcan creatives, and starting their journey, there was some real valuable advice coming at them there and then from yourself. And I thought, look, we've got to have a chat about what it is you're doing. And you're now putting a lot of your learnings into people through the business and mentoring, aren't you? Through that one-to-one support that you're now giving.
I think it's really important. Like, I got asked to speak at Vulcan, and Vulcan wanted me to speak on my success. Now, that's great. I don't mind talking to people about my success, but I'd much rather people know that, look, yes, I may be successful in some people's eyes. I may not be successful in other people's eyes. But one, you measure your own success. That's down to you. What do you define as successful? You can't let other people be like, well, no, you're not successful. Because if you feel successful and you feel financially free, that's enough. You don't need to put yourself on a pedestal or try and put yourself in a position where you come down the ranks because someone else is telling you that. And whenever I speak in an event like this, I think it's always important to encourage people that the journey is going to be tough, but you can do it. Stay focused, have a good why, and stay on your own path. I always say to people, stay in your own lane, because there's so much information out there in the world. You know, I do this thing on Instagram where I kind of look at people's videos and I comment on them. And some of the information out there, like I watched a video last week and it said, if you're not earning 350 grand a month, then you're a nobody. Like, that for me is unbelievable. I can't even believe that someone's saying that on the internet, because that just makes people feel as if they're a nobody. You'd listen to that, and even if you had a hugely successful business, you'd look at that and think, well, I'm not earning 350 grand a month. I don't earn 350 grand a month. But people would look at me and think, Parm's hugely successful. And I just think that the information that you're given online sometimes is so far adrift from making any sense. And you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. I think the importance of going out and speaking in front of people is about encouraging them to go, take the step, do the best you can, get your learnings. You're going to make mistakes. You're not a failure. Set your own goals and set your own expectations and live by them. Cancel the noise out.
Yeah, fantastic words there as well. And you know, that's why, you know, I heard you speaking on the day, and I'm thinking there's some real valuable advice and information coming to people here. And hopefully they took it away with them. You know, we certainly picked up a couple of vibes from what you were saying as well. And I'm thinking, well, these are real words of wisdom here. And I think for many people, I think the word failure, they're concerned about. They don't like to fail. No one likes to fail. Do you know what? I love to fail. I think it's the only way I learn. You know, I don't read from textbooks or learn from textbooks. I don't sit on university courses. It's not for me. I just want to go and do. So failure is a big thing, and I think more people that can learn to fail. I think that's how you learn quicker, don't you? When you do get in those situations, and I think we've all been there, haven't we? We've all been there.
You have to get comfortable with it. Ultimately, if you want to be successful, and no matter what success looks like for you, ultimately, everyone's going to have an unhappy client. Everyone's going to have people within their business that are unhappy, but you can't be defined by the unhappiness. I had a client in here in my office last week. He's actually became a very good friend of mine in the last 12 or 13 years. And last year, we made a mistake on one of his jobs. And he came back to me. He rang me personally, didn't ring the office. And he luckily found the mistake before the job had gone live. And we had to put a process into place to fix that one particular mistake. But had I not had that fantastic relationship with him, he would have never come to me personally. So I think, business is about relationships. Mistakes are going to happen. If you allow the same mistake to happen over and over and over and over again, then that's on you. That's you inflicting pain on yourself. If a mistake happens, you put a process in place to fix it and make sure it never happens again, then you'll continually get better and better. So I see it. I see it in the market. I see it in the industry. People making the same mistake over and over again. And I've had people before say, "Oh, recruitment's not working for me. I can't find the right people." Really? You can't find the right people, or your training's not right? No, well, I bring them in. They tell me they can do this, this, and this, but they can't do it. Well, no, they probably can do this, this, and this, but they can't do this, this, and this the way you want them to do it. But have you taken the time out to explain that to them? Probably not as well as I should have. Well, then that's the problem. The problem ain't the person, and the problem isn't what they're capable of. The problem is that the person's fine, their capabilities are there, but what you're expecting of them, they don't understand how to put the two pieces of the puzzle together. So the piece that's lacking is your bit of your training that you need to give them to bring them to where they want to be. Ultimately, people don't want to disappoint you either. They don't want to go home in the evening feeling like they've done a rubbish job. People want to feel like they've done a good job. They want to feel a sense of achievement themselves. So if you give them the tools to be able to do that, ultimately, they want to be successful and they want to do their job as best as they can. And I think it's all about that improvement. And why are we failing? Why are people constantly leaving if they're constantly leaving? Why have we got a constantly revolving door? Find out what the problems are, find out what the failures are and fix them.
Yeah, brilliant. Again, some words of advice there for anyone that's on the business journey and is wanting to grow, and you're now in that position where you're actually helping people to grow, aren't you, through the mentoring and coaching that you're doing. Talk to me a little bit about what the offering looks like to people that are looking to maybe work with a coach or a mentor such as yourself.
So I do quite an array of things. I put a lot of business content out there on my Instagram, on YouTube, little business tips. I run daily training programs. That's mainly for my construction clients, so construction business owners that want to improve their sales process, their leads, they want to improve their estimating process and have a more profitable construction business that's based on systems and processes. So I help a lot of people within my brands, Bhangals and My Build Estimate to grow more successful construction and development businesses by putting the right systems and processes in place. And then I coach people one-to-one. And that can be from any sector. I've got people from various sectors that I coach one-to-one. And what I tend to do in my coaching program is the first thing you do is effectively fill out a 2-page form. We look at what you want as your quick wins, what you feel like you're really good at, what you feel like you're not so good at. And we help you improve on what you're not so good at, get your quick wins, and look at actually how you take your business from where it is now to where it's going to be. So we help you set out systems in setting goals 1, 3, 5, 10 years. What's your exit strategy? because a lot of people don't have that. I didn't have that when I first set up a business. When I first set up a business, I didn't think about my exit, but now I think about an exit in every business. What is my exit? How do I want to build this business? What does a client base look like? What does the second tier management team look like? What does our systems and processes look like? So if someone wants to come and say, Parm, I want to buy your business, they're buying a business. So we help people get to a position where they're hitting their goal. They might want to be in a position, I've got a client that actually wants to hand their business down to the next generation, to their kids. Okay, how does that look? What are their skills? What pieces do they need to slot in to? What other expertise do they need to bring in? So it's all about working with an individual on their personal goals within their business and helping them to get to whatever position they might want to be. And that could be financial freedom, that could be freedom from their business so that they've got a business that runs without them. It could be business growth, could be improvement of marketing, and it could be anything. It's just about really defining what that person wants to work on, what direction they want to go in. And sometimes they don't know what direction they want to go in. It's helping them find that direction and exploring the different options that might be available.
Yeah, brilliant. And if people want to find out more information about that service on the coaching and mentoring, you say you're able to work with different companies and startup businesses, maybe in different sectors and things. Where can they find out more information on that?
So you can just Google me, Parm Bhangal. I've got my website, www.parmbhangal.co.uk. I've got my Instagram, LinkedIn. I think I'm on every single social media platform available. But if you Google me, it's highly likely that majority of my companies will come up, and you can just contact me via my website. My website has a contact us page, and feel free to reach out. Even if you're just looking for some advice or some tips on things, I'm always happy to help people and offer whatever little words of wisdom I can do. I think in business, there's very few people that are willing to help, and I do my best to just be someone to lean on, a support, when something isn't quite going right. And sometimes it just takes a 1-minute conversation to perk someone back up and send them on their way. And they're like, actually, you know what? I can do this. So I just like to try and be that person.
And those words of advice and those little nuggets of information can be so valuable to people. So well done on that. And thank you for sharing that with us. Listen, Parm, we're coming towards the end now, but if people want to get in contact with you, they want to understand more about what you do, what's the best way that they can actually contact you? Is it via your website?
Yeah, www.parmbhangal.co.uk, and just reach out via the contact page.
So there we go. If you want to get in contact with Parm, do go to his website, go to the contact page, connect with him there, have a conversation with him, see how he can help you with his knowledge, experience, and everything he's learned so far. If you want to get involved with what we're doing, have a look at our website, nnbn.co.uk. Keep up to date with all the news and information that's going on. Of course, if you want to appear on the podcast or on one of the radio shows that we're involved in as well, drop me an email, hello@nnbn.co.uk. We will happily speak to you and see what we can do to help get your message out there as well. But for now, Parm, thanks for joining me, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Simon.